Do you think some of the rhetoric, Speaker Johnson, I mean, just knowing you and how you conduct yourself, do you think some of the rhetoric is out of line when people from Trump's team are suggesting that Trump himself, that Biden is going to be on cocaine when he's on that debate stage Thursday night?
Look, there's a lot of things that are said in jest. Of course, no one expects that Joe Biden would be on cocaine, but they do ask questions, and I think they're objectively. I mean, I think it makes sense why people are asking, will he be on some sort of energy drinks or something? Okay, look,
Why does Mike Johnson? He's got this ability to look completely over it, and also answer the question at the same time, like he is a breath away. And I know he would not do this because he's a religious man. But he's like a breath away from telling you to go do something unflattering to yourself. Like, I'm over it. Just blank off. You know, he does. Look at every single time he gives an interview. He has that exact same expression, right? He's like, I don't think anyone, Caitlin, thinks that he's going to be on. I don't think anyone expects that he's going to be on cocaine. I actually do. I think that there's not a drug enough a drug that's strong enough besides, I don't know, PCP. They're going to put him on some kind of hopper. I don't know what. I don't know.
They never did determine of the White House. The White House cocaine they found. They never did determine who actually owned it.
It probably has. So welcome back, everyone. Dana Loesch here with you. At the top of the second hour, we got the FCC's Brendan Carr going to be joining us. Ooh, I know, got a lot to talk about. But the debate, they're going to have him on something. Look, I'm telling you, when I was at the State of the Union, and I went as a guest of my congresswoman, when I was at the State of the Union, not last, but the year before that, I was sitting up in the chamber. So wherever you see the dais at, I was on the left side of it. So if you're looking at the screen, I would be on the right side. And I saw Biden walk in. He did not look like a guy who was healthy. He was like leaning on the podium for support. And I wasn't that far away, so I could really see everything. When you see it, you know. I mean, the guy's not healthy. I'll die on that hill. He's had strokes. Strokes, plural. There's no way he just had one. This guy has had some serious issues, and they aren't being transparent about it because they have to use him as a vessel for Obama's third term. It's kind of what it is. But they get him on something. It's not an energy drink, and we all know it. And it's not just a B shot. We know it, okay? They're not doing that. Okay, this is me not knowing anything about drugs. First off, did I welcome everybody back top of the second? I did. Make sure you watch us on Rumble and X and all that good stuff. Sign up at Substack. I just am so excited to talk about this topic because it's like I don't know a lot about drugs except what I've learned on cops. Kane, what can they give him? Like, what would realistically they give him? Not like you're an expert on dope, but, you know.
No, you're right. I'm not. I mean, caffeine is clearly the
caffeine
go-to
is not going to
choice.
do it. Come on.
I get it.
He's got to go for 90 minutes in this debate.
But at the gas station, they sell these little white pills that are apparently concentrated caffeine. That's supposed to keep, like, truckers that have been driving for 20
Sounds like
hours.
they're giving him Fin.
Ginkgo biloba. I don't know what they're going to give him. Like, what can they give him that is not going to kill him, but will keep him cognitive?
Because you know he's got other medication that you can't have it conflict with.
Right.
But what they've got to put him on something. I'm telling you, that booger sugar.
Every pharmaceutical comes with a couple few side effects. So whatever they're giving him may have a couple side effects, which then they'll have to give him more things for those side effects. This could get bad.
Is it mean that if I were Mike Johnson sitting there, I would be like, yeah, well, what if he is, Caitlin? What if he is on cocaine? Do you know for a fact that he's not? I mean, they did find that little baggie of booger sugar there in a cubby. Right. It was in right down the hall by where he is. So what's up? That would have been my response, just to do it.
And wasn't there a second cocaine discovery?
Can I just also add to how idiotic is it? They're like, I can't believe that you would dare suggest that Joe Biden would be on cocaine for the debate. Wait, you mean you can't believe that the guy who has his actual crackhead son living in the White House, the guy who actually literally snorted blow off of hookers' butts, you don't and there's video of it because he is an oversharer. You honestly don't believe that there could be cocaine associated with that family? The guy who banged his sister-in-law, that guy, you know, Joe Biden, who there's some questions as to when his relationship with Jill Start and his relationship with his dead wife ended. I mean, you're shocked? Oh, my heavens, pass me the smelling salts. We're bringing class up in the White House. Right? They act like, I can't believe you suggested that. Your guy got... Your other guy that you lionize, who's been raising money for Joe Biden, got a hawkta in the Oval Office. Okay? Let's not. Are you all right over there, Kane?
I'm okay.
It's like being on Thunder River at Six Flags, isn't it?
It kind of is.
I always hated that ride. You know why? Not because it was like a ride that was scary or because, I thought we were going to flip. It's because I was buckled in to a floating device with a bunch of damn people I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Those people scared me more than the actual ride itself. You could have Godzilla waiting at the end with an open mouth and we had to get past it. That wouldn't scare me. Being trapped on a floating device with those people, that's where my fear of cruises came from, really. That's terrifying. But anyway, everybody knows he's going to be on something. I don't know. They're going to dope him up like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. I bring love. And that's who you're going to see on stage at the debate. I was on Jesse Waters last night, and I was saying that because they're not going to have an audience, so he can't stick London Roberts out there with Navy Jones, but he can have her as part of his entourage because these dudes are going to be traveling with entourages. Well, in Joe Biden's case, it's going to be visiting angels, but they're going to be traveling with entourages, and Trump should have her as a part of his entourage. Now, I had said last night that I think Trump's biggest disadvantage is not having an audience. Because think about it. There are people that when they perform or when they speak, they feed off of the energy of the audience. And I'll tell you that if I tape stuff as opposed to doing it live, I don't know, it's weird. You just know the difference, right? If I'm speaking in front of groups and there's a smaller group as opposed to a big giant group, you feel it. You play off the energy of those people. And that's one of the things that Trump really does. And so I think the biggest disadvantage that he has is not having an audience there to feed off that energy. That's, to Biden's, that plays more into Biden's sphere. But I don't really think the only reason he's not having an audience is so they can't see how bad off he is, that's all you're going to hear about from Trump after this debate, by the way. You know it. Somebody needs to sneak some surreptitious video of Biden shuffling around. That needs to come out. That video needs to come out from this debate. You need to get in there in his green room, something. But that's, and I think Biden's going to try to push Trump's buttons, but he's going to have to be really doped up to be able to string together the thought process to do something like that. And it's really easy to push Joe Biden's buttons. Joe Biden, and I remember before he was vice president, and even if you look at videos of him in the 70s, he's always been a jackwagon. He always has been a jerk. He's always been, hasn't he? An arrogant, but arrogant in a way that's offensive to people with merit. Because he's like a dumber John Kerry. Wow. He is. Think about it. John Kerry, he has a sugar mama. He married money. And that's why I say Joe Biden's a dumber John Kerry, because Joe Biden couldn't even do that. So that's why he's got all those mortgages on his house, 15 on one house. I don't even know how that's possible. How do you do that? I don't know. And Kane worked in finance, and we're both like, what? How do you? That's just one house. One house. And he's got all this debt. So John Kerry at least married money. Joe Biden didn't. And they're both real arrogant. John Kerry is a little slower, but he's still super arrogant. And Joe Biden has always been arrogant, but now he's trying to go for the softer pawpaw approach, right? He wants to be seen as the soft pawpaw. That's his whole thing going in this debate. He wants to make Trump look like the jackwagon, and he come off with the soft pawpaw. But see, you can push Biden's buttons. It's super easy to make him mad. All Trump has to do, if there's a way that he can artfully, he just needs to mention Hunter outright. And if Joe brings up Bo, then Trump needs to go, now, which story is this again? Trump needs to go, which story is this again that you're sharing here? That'll really push his buttons. But then they're going to be muting the mic, but he's still going to be able to hear him, right? Trump just has to push Biden's buttons, and that'll upend the whole apple cart for Democrats. All they have to do is make sure that Biden keeps breathing on stage, and that will be considered a moderately successful night for them. That's all they got to do. Make sure he doesn't fall. Make sure he doesn't deuce his pants. Make sure that, he stays, he's upright and that he's breathing. That's all they got to do.
That's a tall order.
It's a tall order, But that's why he's going to have visiting angels out there helping him, right? They're going to actually plonk him right down on the stage right before the debate starts. It's true story. But I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to be watching a debate as closely as I'm going to be watching this one, except the one where I did watch the Hillary Trump one, and she got mad because where she was standing, he would walk over to her, and it made her mad.